Everyone, it is book news time. I'm going to start us out with a story about Lena Dunham, who has announced her next memoir. The book is called Famesick and covers the years 2010 to 2020, discussing how her health troubles have changed the trajectory of her career. The book will be released 10 years after her first memoir, Not That Kind of Girl. She actually said about her first book, "I'm very proud of that book, but it's funny to look back at myself as a 28-year-old publishing work with these tidy life lessons at the end of them as if I had any idea what was coming." And I just think like, okay, I like that.
I love that.
I love that like kind of retrospection on, how at 30 having a successful career, she was like, everything's on the upswing. I've got this. And then, she's had like some very serious health problems and she had to have like a hysterectomy and various other things. And I think that sidetracked her career and very much changed her life. And so I think it's going to be really interesting. It comes out in April of 2026.
I'm excited. I love a good self-awareness gal that kind of understands that, like, listen, guys, I understand that I wrote this. It was good, but I'm at a time in my life where I have new lessons and things I have learned that didn't fit with my vibe.
I know. Are you a fan of Lena Dunham?
I am May. Like I never watched Girls. I know that I have heard of her memoir, so I think that says something because I'm not really into memoirs that much.
Yeah.
But that is one that normally comes up quite often.
Yeah.
So I know who she is. I know that she dated that guy that produced a whole bunch
Jack
of Taylor
Antonoff, yeah.
Yeah, but I had heard about like her illnesses and stuff that she has been going through. So I think honestly, it brings a lot of maturity, going through something that is like life altering like that.
It
So
does.
I think it's going to be kind of great to kind of see how her perspective has changed in this past like 7 or 8 years since she released the last one.
Yes, I totally agree.
Because going through something that is like scary, life changing, it really puts things into perspective. So I think I'm excited to kind of see what the message overall is.
Me too.
Okay, so on some other news, I think this is a follow-up for one of the news that we covered a couple of months ago, Lindsay, that I think you brought up. But Anthropic is about to pay $1.5 billion to the authors. If you guys remember, this is an artificial intelligence company, and they're going to be settling a class action lawsuit by book authors who say the company took pirated copies of their works to train its chatbot. The company has agreed to pay authors about $3,000 for each of an estimated of 500,000 books covered by the settlement. This is going to be a landmark settlement. It's still pending to be approved and signed by the judge this upcoming Monday, which is for us is Monday, September 8th, which is really exciting, but it's going to make this like a turning point for legal battles against AI platforms, which is a really big deal. This is said to be the largest copyright recovery that has ever been done in the history. So it's just pretty exciting. I'm really happy that the authors are going to get a little bit of justice, and hopefully it's going to be setting a precedent for us to not have to go through this in the future.
Yes, because $3,000 may not sound like a lot of money, but if you remember from the first story, the stance that the company was taking was, well, we're not redistributing it. Like basically what they were doing is they were photocopying like hundreds of thousands of books, so that they weren't technically like, they were purchasing the books initially and then photocopying them for a large language model learning. And so they were like, well, we purchased it and we're not distributing it, so it shouldn't technically be illegal. So this is a huge closure of a loophole for training something, because those authors did not give permission regardless of whether or not this company purchased it or not. They were using it in perpetuity.
Yeah, it's crazy. So hopefully justice will be served. We'll find out probably by the time the episode will come out. The judge has signed the settlement and we're going to get a little bit of justice.
Good find, Magda. I'm so excited about that. Okay. Adaptation news time. There's an upcoming adaptation of Anxious People. It'll star Jason Segel, Angelina Jolie, and Amy Lou Wood. And this is, of course, based on Frederick Bachman's novel of the same name. Have you read it?
I have not read it, but it is on my list and people really love it. And
I know.
He just came up with another book, My Friends, I believe is what it's called. And it's like really like a bestseller right now.
He's an author who like people reach for when they want to cry, I think. Mm-hmm. So the movie will be directed by Mark Forster, who also directed another adaptation of Frederick Bachman's A Man Called Otto, which is based on his book A Man Called Ove, which starred Tom Hanks. And just the basic premise of the book is on the day before Christmas Eve, investment banker Zara begrudgingly finds herself mingling with a group of strangers at an open house. When a reluctant bank robber, Grace, inadvertently takes the group hostage, chaos and oversharing ensues. Secrets are revealed, and literally nothing goes according to plan. It sounds great.
It sounds really great.
Yeah.
Funny story. A Man Called Otto was one that I watched over the holidays with my husband, and we were like, "Oh, this looks like a fun little like a little like fun, light-hearted
It's
movie."
like a man grieving his widow,
Oh
right?
my god, we were both like sobbing by the end of it. We were not expecting like the turn that it took, and it was so sad. Couple of dark thoughts. It was really heartwarming, and by the end, like it was really sweet. But holy crap, yeah, it is. Get your tissues.
Did you see it in the holiday time?
I saw it on the holiday time.
So this is a total side note, but like they should market those movies around holiday times better, because I remember I was going through like a very hard time in my life, and my husband and I were like trying to find a light movie to watch, and I was like basically having a health scare. As a short story of that. And so we were like, okay, let's go see, what was that movie where they make the people smaller so that they
yes, for the retirement shrink. No, that's a show. But yes, I know, with Matt Damon.
With Matt Damon,
yes.
Well, I don't remember what the name of the movie is, and it doesn't matter because it wasn't that good. But I was like, it's highly depressing about like basically the economics of being a human, and how like a service like this really appeals to people who can't afford life or food or basic necessities. It was so fucking depressing, and I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? I can barely handle my own life right now, and I'm in this like really depressed. Anyway, my point is, watch out for those holiday movies.
I remember that one. Downsize. That's it, right? Yeah. I was actually just thinking about that movie recently, because I was just like, thinking about like, oh, when I get old, like, am I gonna have enough money saved up when I retire? I'm like, maybe they're onto something. Like, maybe it'll be okay if we can shrink size.
It didn't seem like it worked that well for them. It's like, or also like that show Upload was about that, right? Like, I'm really interested in this like economics of like life extension and like what that looks like. It's an interesting concept, but it was not good for the time.
That's when speculative fiction gets you, man. A little too hard in the feels.
Watch out. Okay.
And then on some other news, I love a good auction story.
You do. I feel like the last few episodes.
I'm always like, listen, my goal in life is to inherit some sort of like library from my tias or something, and then they're gonna have unknowingly a first edition that's gonna be worth a ton of money.
And then you're gonna sell it? You would sell it?
Depending on how much. I don't know. It depends on what it is.
Okay. Is there a first edition that you wouldn't sell?
A Pride and Prejudice one.
Okay.
Which we're about to talk about.
Okay.
But the one that for real the news story is about, it's about a first edition of Book of Mormon, which was sold for $240,000. This is actually a record. There's been a couple of other ones that have been sold in the past, but they've never sold for over $200,000, which is still a lot of money. But apparently this is such a big deal. Why are you laughing? This is a real hard-hitting news story.
I'm laughing because I was thinking it was like a copy of the play Book of Mormon.
No, this isn't for real Book of Mormon.
This is how tired I am, guys. I'm sorry. I was looking at our notes and I was like, 1840? There's no way that play has been around that long.
I should have clarified this is the actual religious text.
The religion. And that tells you where my brain is at. I'm like, oh, the Broadway hit Book of Mormon? That's so great. Okay, I'm gonna get it together.
God.
Okay, please keep going.
No, I just
I'm
like
so stupid.
I was like, maybe I said a bad word somewhere.
I just was like, wow, I'm like really impressed a script would sell for that much. Okay, please keep going.
A first edition play. Anyways, no, this is for real. This is the actual religious text. So it's like a really big deal. They're estimating there's only about 700 copies left in like a really good state for them for selling. So they think that somebody wants to sell them, the price of it and the cost of it is going to continue to increase. What I found the most interesting is that they think that this is actually fetching a higher price than a first edition of like Pride and Prejudice or The Lord of the Rings. They normally kind of go between $100,000 to $150,000, and this one is actually going for a lot higher.
But
I was kind of surprised
because you have God on the line. So they're probably like, I need to do this for the sake of my religion. Now, it wouldn't make sense if it were the play. That would be crazy. But good testament. Religious text, I think, kind of makes sense to me. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm kind of looking for the Pride and Prejudice first edition that somebody's holding and they don't know what they have. That's my dream. I'm gonna go to a half price books. And they're just gonna have one.
They're like some lonely soul, some old gal had no idea what she had her hands on. Or no, it'd probably be like a Gen Z, like Gen Alpha.
Like, what is this trash my grandma left me?
No kidding.
Anyways, on that note, I think that's all we had for book news.
And then just as a little side note for the people that are watching this on YouTube, you might notice that this is a little bit of a different look this time. And that is because Magda and I are at the National Book Conference.
Yes, we're in DC, guys. So we are recording this post-book conference. That's why we have our faces very tired.
Yes.
And a little bit delirious.
But we're here to give you the news.
Yes. Our journalism is really important to us.
It is. It's up to the minute. Anyway,
Yes.
just a little disclaimer.
Good call out. We forgot to say that in the beginning.